Welcome. So if you're tuning in today, you are probably somebody dealing with high blood pressure. And you're wondering, how do you get high blood pressure and how might you lower it? So today I'll go over 5 things you can do to reduce your blood pressure. I will go over alcohol consumption, smoking, caffeine, which is a big question for a lot of you, stress management, and the sodium-potassium ratio. So let's get right into it. So alcohol. Can that really increase the blood pressure? If so, how's it doing that? Well, according to the Mayo Clinic, if you have 3 or more drinks a day, that is considered moderate alcohol consumption, and that can, over a long term, increase your blood pressure. Now, every drink is going to temporarily spike your blood pressure, but it will go back down within 15 minutes. But like I said, if you drink regularly or you're a chronic drinker, over time, your blood pressure will gradually increase, and the only way to get it down is if you stop drinking. But a warning though, if you want to stop drinking, do so gradually. You don't want to suddenly stop drinking because that can actually spike your blood pressure. You want to do it over 1 to 2 drinks, minimizing the number of drinks you have every day and the number of drinks you have each week. Double warning, for those of you on medications, most medications don't really interact well with your blood pressure medications. For example, the common blood pressure medication, nitrate, actually stops the medications from working. So if you're on a medication, you want to consult with your doctor to see if it's okay to drink any amount of alcohol. So on to the next topic, smoking. Okay, so smoking. Should you stop smoking if you have blood pressure? Well, let's talk about the 3 ways tobacco impacts your blood pressure. One way is every time you smoke, immediately after you're done, your blood pressure spikes. And in addition, the nicotine and the cotinine in the tobacco actually narrows your arteries, which forces your heart to pump more blood through your veins, which increases your blood pressure. And the third impact tobacco has is it actually increases the buildup of plaque in your arteries, which narrows the space that your blood has to flow through, which in turn increases your blood pressure. And everything I said is true if you don't smoke, but you're around people who smoke. So secondhand smoke has the same effect that firsthand smoking has. If you need help quitting, the American Heart Association has a guide and a lot of resources. I have put the link in the description, so check that out. So our next topic is caffeine. Do you need to stop drinking all that coffee? According to Mayo Clinic, caffeine can cause a short and dramatic increase in blood pressure. And over time, if you drink caffeine regularly, that turns into a long-term increase in blood pressure. Now, note, there are some people who, for some reason, the more caffeine they drink, the more desensitized they become to the impact of the caffeine, and it really doesn't impact their blood pressure. Be aware, caffeine is in a lot of beverages. We all know it's in coffee, but it's also in decaffeinated coffee. It's in black tea, it's in green tea, it's in yerba mate, it's in your energy drinks, it's in your pre-workout powders, and of course it's in sodas. And you want to be more cognizant of, well, what am I drinking and is there any caffeine in it? And for those of you who are like, well, how do I know exactly how caffeine sensitive I am? Because I know some of us get tired and like to have that cup of coffee and you don't want to give it up for no reason. So what you want to do to know if you're caffeine sensitive is to do a test. Check your blood pressure before you have a caffeinated beverage. And 30 minutes to an hour after you finish drinking, check your blood pressure again. If your blood pressure goes up 5 to 10 points, whether it's the systolic or diastolic, the top number or the bottom number, then you're probably caffeine sensitive. Also, be careful not to consume a caffeinated beverage before anything that would naturally increase your blood pressure. So this includes exercising, This includes any physical labor. You don't want to have a caffeinated beverage around that time, because what you're doing is giving your body 2 reasons to increase your blood pressure. And if you feel like you need to quit caffeine, that's okay. Just take it slow, okay? So a sudden reduction of caffeine can cause withdrawal symptoms, like you can have headaches and you can have nausea, migraines, and things of that nature. So take it slow. Do it over the course of 7 to 10 days. And our next topic is stress. Now, how does stress increase blood pressure, and how can we manage that? So what's happening to your body when you get stressed? When stress hits, your body produces hormones that increase your heart rate. And that increase in the heart rate and those hormones, well, they narrow your arteries, which then leads to a high blood pressure. Now, that could be short term because the stress is usually short term. And keep in mind, as human beings, we are meant to deal with stress, right? So your body can handle it. The problem comes in when you have chronic stress. According to Mayo Clinic, even frequent temporary spikes in blood pressure can damage your arteries, your lungs, and your kidneys. So the question is, well, stress is everywhere. What can I do about it? Personally, I say take an honest inventory of your life. Where's the stress coming from, and how are you responding to it? Look at your relationships. Are they bringing you drama and negativity? Is there somebody you interact with when, every time you see them, your blood pressure is going up? Let's look at your job. How are things at work? Is your job making you happy? Or is it taking energy away from you, causing you anxiety, and increasing your blood pressure? And so there's a lot to look at in life. You want to look at how you're dealing with money, how you're dealing with people. Are you able to trust people? Like, all of this has an impact on our blood pressure. And what can you do to kind of minimize stress? You want to do things that you enjoy. You want to go out, hang out with friends. You want to spend time with your kids. Whatever you like to do, and whatever calms you, that will help manage your blood pressure over time, because it will reduce your stress overall. So the next topic is salt. Everybody talks about salt when we talk about blood pressure, but what's it with salt? So let's get into that. So I have news. The problem isn't necessarily the salt. The problem is your sodium to potassium ratio. Are you consuming more salt than potassium? Why is potassium so important? What's the big deal with potassium? Well, you consume more potassium than salt. There are 3 main reasons. Well, potassium helps your muscles expand and contract. So when you're stressed out and your heart rate goes up, your arteries need to be able to expand in order to maintain a low blood pressure. And so potassium helps with that. Potassium also helps your nerves to work, which have a direct impact on your cardiovascular system. And third, potassium is great for your kidneys, and your kidneys filter out your blood. The cleaner your blood, the lower your blood pressure. So, interesting fact. According to Harvard Health Publishing, our ancestors consumed 11,000 milligrams of potassium and only 700 milligrams of salt. So that means the salt to potassium ratio was 1 to 16. Your ancestors ate 16 times more potassium than salt. But today, the ratio was 1.36 to 1. So we're eating way more salt than potassium. And no one's body is designed for that. The Archives of Internal Medicine noted that the higher the sodium-potassium ratio that you consume, the greater your chances of dying from cardiovascular disease, a heart attack, and just from anything at all. So that's how important the sodium-potassium ratio is. So if you find yourself saying, well, I need to eat way more potassium-rich foods, you're on the right track. So how do you do that? I included a long list of potassium-rich foods in this video description, but a few of them include avocado, salmon. A lot of fish have a lot of potassium, turkey, spinach, tofu. All of these great, delicious foods. You just need to add them to your diet and eat them daily. So there you have it. 5 things that have increased your blood pressure that may also lower it if you make changes. So reducing your alcohol consumption, not smoking anymore, reducing your caffeine intake. If just don't drink any caffeine at all. It's a personal decision. But also manage your stress better and improve your sodium potassium intake. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it helped. If it did, share it, like it, and make sure to subscribe.